Catherine Howard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If all of you feel the need to get up and get your wiggles out, it's okay. If you're 5-year-olds and you need to get up and shake up and down, it's okay. I'll let you do that right now. So I'm actually here to help you guys come up with your own great ideas. We all have our own big ideas, but I think it's much more important that you guys have your own. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I come up with an idea. Step 1 for me is throwing a temper tantrum. So what I have found works is, and I discovered this while I was in South Africa, was when I decided that the artwork I was creating was terrible. It was absolutely god-awful. I decided, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay on the floor and I'm going to throw my hands and I'm going to roll over and scream. And I literally did this in a house with 8 other people. And just screamed my head off and decided, oh my God, everything I do sucks. And once I was able to let go every crappy thing that I was doing at that moment, a little idea happened in the back of my head. And this idea, I decided, was going to be what I wanted to do. And I decided that what I was going to do was to go to 13 countries in 1 year. And I decided, holy crap, that's a really big project. I need to think about this before I just say, let's just get on a plane and figure out what happens. So when I decided that that was a little bit too big, I decided to clarify. So step number 1 is throw a temper tantrum. Step number 2 is clarify what you're going to do after you do that. So I had my 13 countries that I mapped out. I decided that I wanted to go to countries where people were not necessarily known for being friendly. So if you think about Zimbabwe, you probably think about Robert Mugabe and his dictatorship. You probably don't think about all of the amazing families there that welcome strangers into their homes and provide for their communities. And when you think about Finland, you think, holy crap, it's really cold there. You don't think about, you know, all of these wonderful artists who accept people into their community and help everybody out. So I decided that I wanted to go to communities that were not known for being terribly nice and find out how art is being used to make these communities more hospitable. So in places like Zimbabwe, I'm going to be talking about mural art. In places like Pakistan, I'm going to be talking about how art is being used to challenge the status quo. In places like Cambodia, I'm going to be talking about how art is a sustainable economy there. And in places like China, again, how art is being used to challenge these ideas that the government holds. And so, again, all of these different places are really amazing places on their own, but I couldn't just say, okay, I'm going to travel to all these places and great, it's going to happen. I don't have to do anything else but just say I'm going to do it. In order to actually create a big idea, you have to have a lot of follow through. And so once I came up with the ideas of the countries where I was going to be, I decided that I needed to actually contact someone and let them know that I was coming. So, and here we go. Let's commence 6 months of writing emails. So in order to actually create a big idea, you have to be willing to put in a crap load of legwork. So I encourage all of you to come up with some really, really great ideas, but be prepared for it to take about 10 times as long as you expect for it to take you to do it. So I've been spending 6 months writing emails to people in 13 countries around the world, seeing if they want me to come and hang out with them. And you'd be surprised how many people don't want you to come and hang out with them, especially in Pakistan. For some reason, they think that some white American should probably not come and hang out. I didn't understand it. It took me a little while to work that one out, but I'm going to Pakistan, so that's very exciting. But so once you have some follow-through going and you're willing to put in the billion hours of email writing, then after you have people to stay with, you have to come up with the money. And again, that's really crappy, to try to ask people for money for this giant project that you have very little documentation for what's actually going to happen. You can say, yeah, I'm going to go to 13 countries and talk to artists. And they say, okay, what are you going to do there? You got me. I'm just going to go. And all of a sudden, you have to come up with all of this proposal writing that explains exactly what you're going to do and still leave yourself a little bit of leeway to say all of that's probably going to change. So I encourage, again, all of you to not only throw your temper tantrum, to then come up with your really big idea, clarify it, and then write all your emails, do all your prep work, come up with your funding pitch, and then once you do that, you have to also be able to figure out all of the reasons why other people won't want you to do it. And so for me, it's one of the big things is why doesn't art isn't going to provide food and water for people. So why should we encourage you to go to these countries and talk about artists there when a lot of these places need food and water and shelter? And for me, the reason I came up with is we need better tools to think about how to solve our problems. And the things that we're doing just aren't working. And yes, it is really scary to try something that no one's done before. But it's totally worthwhile to try something that no one's done before. Even though it's all of this work, even though you really have to throw a temper tantrum and freak out a lot before it happens, it's totally worth it. And even if you're scared, all you have to do is keep swimming. Just keep moving forward. If you can just keep sending a few more emails, if you can just keep writing one more grant proposal, it's going to happen. And you have to just be willing to leap out and just trust that this giant idea you have in the back of your head is worth doing. And I think that if we all had that tenacity to come up with a big idea and to just put the legwork behind it to make it happen, this world would be an incredible place. So again, I have this huge project that's happening. If you guys want to follow along, I welcome all of you to track the website. But I think that the most important thing I could ask for all of you today would be to spend a couple of days thinking about what's really important to you and how you have a unique way to approach that problem. I think everybody here has something that they are incredibly passionate about, and you shouldn't let anybody tell you that because it's insane that it's not possible. Because no matter what you want to do, if you are just willing to put in the energy, it can happen. So I'll be having a party on December 15th at the Blake Street Studios, which is 2 blocks that way. Feel free to come, meet other people who are passionate about what they do and want to change the world with you. And there will be food and wine. So, I mean, you really can't lose. Plus, it's free. Again, free food and wine, you can't lose. And feel free to follow along with this project. I think traveling around the world is going to change not only me, but all of the resources I'll be able to bring back to the Raleigh community, I hope will change the art community here as well. So thank you so much to all of you for having me, and I hope that everybody has a really great rest of your night. Thank you so much.